Hi YT fam, thank you so much for coming back today to this channel, which is the best place for students to find personal development content. If you are new, my name is Bupe. Remember to subscribe and join this awesome family. Because it is Body Wednesday, our video today is about a mindset for healthy eating. Now, during my research for this video, I stumbled upon some very interesting content, and one particular one was the TED Talk by Jillian Riley. Jillian Riley in her TED Talk said, the mindset for healthy eating begins with the freedom of choice. Now, she explains it much better than me, and I think you should look for it. Jillian Riley was contending that we all have the innate desire or the innate right of the freedom of choice. And when this is taken away, we become resentful, right? We all know that when you tell someone not to do something, that's when they want to do it. If you say, don't look at that orange lamp that you are seeing in my video, that's exactly what you're going to look at. And that's exactly how it works for our mindsets as well, okay? So she was saying the reason why people usually fail at diets or give up on diets is because it's associated with prohibition, which then leads to resentment. So Ms. Riley proposes that instead of prohibiting yourself, instead of saying, oh, for instance, I'm fasting, so I can't eat that. You have it in your mind that you are prohibiting yourself and therefore you become resentful. But she proposes that, why do you not instead embrace freedom? Because the fact is, just because you are allowed, for instance, or you have the freedom to eat something, you don't have to eat that something to prove that you have the freedom to do it. You get it? So she's talking about, let's remove that prohibition element in our mind, and she explains it from the perspective of how our mind works and how we build habits over doing things over and over and over again. So if you train your mind to say, look, I know I have the freedom to eat this donut, or I have the freedom to eat this cookie, or I have the freedom to drink this juice, but I don't have to drink it to prove it that I have the freedom. You know that you have the freedom, but you won't drink it because there's another better choice you have chosen. I want to be healthy. So the desire to be healthy now is what inspires you, rather than that nagging thing that tells you, no, you can't eat because, you know, you're on a diet. So she proposes shifting the way we think in order to achieve our goals for a healthy living. Okay? That said, a lot of us, our mindsets are shaped around a lot of patterns that we picked up growing up. Okay, so maybe there was a time in your childhood when there was scarcity in the home, right? And you had to fight over food, or the portions were so rationed that when you ate, you didn't really become full. When you become older and food is available to you, we don't realize it, but those things that affected us in our childhood come to play a role. So sometimes we have to introspect. Sometimes when you feel hungry, you're desperate to eat because the pang of hunger, that feeling you have of hunger, triggers some emotion that has attached hunger with negativity and with pain. So we have to acknowledge that that was the past and heal through that, and then we will be able to make better, positive decisions for the food that we eat. And for some, because maybe you visited someone who was more wealthy, and when you were young they ate chips in their home and you only ate in Shima, you think that now because you can afford chips, that's the healthier way to live, or that's how the wealthy live, which is not the correct narrative, and that is something you also may need to control to make healthier decisions, because you would know better, right? So maybe you visited a home where they ate meat every day. While that looked fancy, it's not very healthy because meat takes long to digest. So when we change our beliefs and our patterns, and it's not easy, it takes process, and like we have said, it's a habitual decision-making process. It's about rewiring your mind to make healthier decisions, right decisions for your good health. Okay, now what does health mean? I can't provide that definition for you. A lot of people have, or I could provide a textbook definition, but all of us have our own definition of what healthy is. But unhealthy is pretty easy to see. Maybe obesity. I have said here before that just because I'm small, many people will assume that I am healthy. But the truth is there's certain things I have to struggle with, like gastritis, like low blood pressure occasionally, because in those areas I am not healthy. My stress lifestyle ended up affecting my health because of poor choices. So just because someone is small, it doesn't mean they're healthy. Okay, you can be small but you lack balance. You are always dizzy, you are always fatigued. Those are all symptoms of, like, there's something not going okay in your body, and that needs to be checked. And for some, yes, you may need to see a medical practitioner, but for some, they can simply be changed with our lifestyle by drinking more water, taking vitamins, supplements, check if you have anemia, and all those things. So all I'm saying is our size doesn't show or is not a determinant of whether we are healthy or not. So I can't decide for you what health is, because there are a lot of things that should be considered: your height, your bone structure, all those things that nutritionists will tell us to take into account and say, okay, you know what, you're not in the red line, you're in the green line. I do encourage seeing a nutritionist to get this right. Okay, now there's a danger that happens when we are trying to be healthy. We tend to fall in these extremes, right? Where you want to be healthy, so now you focus on your body, but your soul and your spirit are neglected. Now life is about balance, okay? So, and that thing I said about food resentment, you have to have a healthy relationship with food, in that you are not a slave to your diet. Your diet is a tool that should help you get to a healthy place. So when you get to a point where you take on these diets that are so straining to you, that make you miserable, you must be checking what you are doing. There might be something you are doing wrong. So when the diet, how can I say, yes, dieting is not easy, and I'm not saying do a diet that you find easy to do. No, there's a place where a diet can be challenging because you're stepping aside from what your body is naturally inclined to do, and you're developing new habits. Yes, that is acceptable. But there are those people where your life is so miserable that you feel it so deep in your gut that, why are you doing this? Oh, I'm ugly. Oh, I'm what? If that is making you feel that way, there's probably something you are doing wrong. But also, again, start at the mindsets. What are the mindsets that you have? And narratives and your inner dialogue about food and where you're at and how it's affecting you. If you're eating a lot, how does eating too much feel? There are some people who feel disgusted after eating a meal because they're like, this is what's making me fat. That's a pointer to a poor relationship with food and how you perceive it. And it can only be dealt with at a mindset level, okay? With dieting, I always suggest, and please, I am not an expert. This is what I'm learning as I go along to live a healthier life, because, guys, like, my stress-oriented life had cost me for a time, and I'm not just going to allow that anymore. So this is just the information I am finding. Please see a nutritionist, please see a doctor, and people who are fitness experts and health experts about this. But what I recommend, especially for us beginners, is adopting the Kaizen culture, where progress is better than perfection, so that you don't get trapped in the I must, so that when you fail on your must, you become depressed, hate the diet, and quit it altogether. What I propose is, get on a simple plan. Okay, get on a simple plan that does basic things that you can do and you can incorporate into your day-to-day life, whether you're an employee in the office or you're a student in university, something that can fit in. If you can take a walk 10 minutes a day, hydrate, get enough sleep, those kinds of things, step by step, and then be consistent with that so that you get the results that you want. Okay, rather than forcing yourself and then you give up. Not a good idea. So my message to you today, therefore, is do a bit at a time, but consistently, and continuously until you get better. What are the 5 things I would suggest? And from my research, these are the things I wrote down me to share with you. And number 1 is commitment to whatever goal you have and having a strong why. So you know how sometimes the only thing you know is that I'm not healthy and I need to get better. I think when you have a deeper reason why you want to get better, it helps. For instance, you have children or you want to be successful, right? But what good is success if you can't enjoy it and you are sick? So have a deep reason. For me, my why revolves around the work I want to do in giving and in donations. I will require the stamina to go around in the rural areas to meet people who are in need, and my body needs to be fit for that. Therefore, I can't just wake up one day with low blood pressure, gastritis, a bit of stress, I'm knocked down, you know what I mean? I can't afford that. Therefore, I need that daily exercise and I need that good nutrition to keep up stamina to live out my life's mission. The second is remember that life is about probabilities and not about guarantees. The more you do, the higher chances you get for success in a particular area. Look, I'm not saying that if you live healthy, you're definitely going to live longer. No, like I'm saying, it's on the balance of probabilities. Life, there are no guarantees. It's on the balance of probabilities. The healthier you are, the higher the chances of you living longer, the higher the chances of you enjoying your life more if you're balancing it out with the other 5 pillars that the mindpreneur produces. The third one, have a simple plan and work the plan. Not just about focus. Don't just focus on the end goal. Like for instance, if your goal is to lose 20 kilos or 10 kgs, don't focus on the 20 kgs. Rather than focus on what can I do today to get to my goal for 20 kgs. So leave that. So today, the question is, in the morning, did I wake up with an attitude of gratitude? Did I hydrate? Did I drink enough water? Did I eat nutritious food? Did I exercise? Did I get enough rest, right? Like focus on each day as it comes consistently, because life happens in those cluster of decisions that we make, and that's what helps us get to the goal. So don't try and lose 20 kgs today. Do what you can do today, and that's it. And then tomorrow, do what you can do tomorrow, and then the progress will show. Number 3, well, something I already said, think Kaizen, progress, not perfection. Number 4, if you didn't do great yesterday, see today as a new start. Refocus. Where did you do well? Where didn't you do well? And then use today to do better. Okay? Again, Kaizen. Just if you didn't do well, don't just throw away the plan because you failed once. And then number 5 is track progress. Like have a journal. I am big on, if I could show you how many journals I have in here, you'd be shocked. I have a whole bag. Track your progress for the goals that you have made. Yes, have a plan, but also track your progress. If you follow me on my Instagram, you'll see that I have a personal development tracker, which I fill in on a weekly basis and then share. Do the same for your goals. Even if you failed at some point. So if your goal is 20 kgs at the end of the month, when you track your goals, it will show you where you didn't do well, which is an indicator for where you should improve and not a reason to beat yourself, but it will also give you a reason to celebrate where you did better. It's always helpful because when you write it down somewhere, it can be a push to do better for the future. That is why I value. I have so many journals, and like some is embarrassing. They're like 2010 diaries. Something I would like to leave with you today is that you need to understand that our health drives our emotions, and our emotions create our attitudes, and our attitudes affect our relationships in life as a whole. So I encourage you to get on a healthy plan. If you are skinny, if you are big, if you are medium, each of us needs to be healthy. But the most important thing to take away for today is our health starts with the right mindset. And also this mindset is built from habit, being strong, being committed in ensuring that we have the right approach, that you have the freedom to eat whatever you want, and no one is going to stop you. Just know. But you don't have to prove that you have that freedom by eating the food. You can say, I have the freedom to eat the food, but I won't, because what I want more than the food is a healthy body. And it's not going to be easy, but the more you do this, the easier it becomes. That's all I had for you today, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I have to love and leave you. This has been Wupe, the Mindpreneur. Bye.